Hey, I'm Kim Corvin, retired lawyer. I worked as a judge, landlord and tenant disputes. And when I was a lawyer, I practiced family law. Now, the worst file I ever saw for kids and divorce was a family that the police had to be called every single time when the children were going from one parent's house to the other. Now, I want you to imagine the impact on those children because children, they do not observe conflict, they actually experience it. So, what you think is of as, oh, it's just between the two of us, wrong. Even if your kids don't see it, they feel it. And that, if you read the research on adverse childhood experiences, that was done by Kaiser Permanente and the Center for Disease Control, divorce like that harms kids and can adversely affect their health as adults. So, what's one thing that you can do, right? I mean, because let's face it, if you're staying together for the sake of the kids and there's lots of tension in your house, you're harming them. That's what the research shows. And there's a really great TEDx talk by Dr. Nadine Burke Harris where she talks about being a pediatrician and seeing all of these kids with ADD, ADHD, and wondering what's happening to these kids. Like it can't be something genetic or in the water. Like there's just way too many kids with this experience. And that's when she started to discover about adverse childhood experiences. And it's a really, really thought provoking TEDx talk. I highly recommend it. So, what's one thing that you can do? So, the point there is if you're staying together for the kids and you're fighting, or you can cut the tension like a knife, you might want to rethink your strategy and start thinking about divorce. So, a couple things. Um, really, so it's to realize that conflict harms children. Divorce doesn't have to harm children. Conflict does. And the one thing you can do to protect your children is to divorce well. Yes, it's painful. And I want you to think about funerals you've been to where it's been painful, right? Incredibly painful. But you've left with a sense that the person was really honored and captured the person's essence. And you feel better at the end of the service than you did at the start. Divorce can be approached the same way. So, the one thing you can do to protect your children is to divorce well. And we don't talk about it because we make it all sexy to fight in court, and that just adds to the harm our children suffer. And we start acting as if I'm going to get points for my kid and say what a bad parent the other parent is. And it just turns into something really, really awful. You don't want that, right? You want to commit to divorcing well. So, how do you do that? There's actually lots of really great free resources on my website, theconflictqueen.ca. Really good free resources. Or, I mean, I even offer a free consult. And I help people in so many different ways. As a mediator, I'm very effective at getting parents in conflict to actually focus on their kids and have really great conversations. I do strategy work with one spouse, because if you're married to a narcissist or there's coercive control, regardless of if the controller is male or female, I love that kind of strategy work. And then I have a divorce, a community for women going through divorce. So go to my website, check it out if you want to learn more about how to divorce well. There's getting to be more of us in this industry, but know it's possible. And when you recognize, oh, that conflict harms kids, and you commit to your kids, you commit to divorcing well. So let me know what you think, and take care.